It has just been a few months in office and Trump's already swinging. Just a few days ago, he slapped a 125% tax on electric cars from China. That's a lot of percentage of taxes. He says it's to protect American interests, but let's be real, it's going to make things way more expensive. Well, if you liked the original, welcome to the sequel nobody asked for. But guess what? China didn't even flinch. You know what they did? They went straight for Boeing and dropped billions in plane deals like it was nothing. Airbus is probably sitting back laughing. US officials are calling it unfair, but China knows exactly how to press the right buttons. Boeing's now caught in a storm they didn't start. Stocks are jumping, investors are freaking out, and no one knows what's coming next. Farmers, workers, and business owners are stuck in the middle of this mess. And for what? Another round of who's tougher? Is this really about helping Americans, or just another show to prove a point? Well, let's find out how the Chinese could respond to the high tariffs. Don't forget to like the video and drop your comment below. As Trump got back into office, one of the first things he did was slap some heavy tariffs on importations coming from China. And just a few days ago, after easing tariffs on other countries, he didn't ease any of that off from China either. He hit Chinese products with a 125% tariff right out of the gate. Well, that was a huge one, way tougher than anything from before. It pretty much brought the trade fight with China back into the spotlight after it had kind of quieted down under Biden. And it wasn't just electric cars. He added more tariffs on other things like batteries, solar panels, medical gear, and tech parts. He said he was about protecting American workers and making sure we weren't too dependent on China. He also claimed some of the tech in those cars and chips could be risky for national safety. So many American businesses that depend on these products weren't too happy with this announcement though. Economists didn't waste any time sounding the alarm. They warned that prices might go up for regular citizens and that China could hit back with their own tariffs. A lot of American companies had built their supply chains around China over the years, and now they are stuck. Tesla and Ford, for example, get their EV batteries from China. So what are they supposed to do now? Eat the cost or scramble to find new suppliers? Some critics insist that there was definitely some politics in play too. This hit home in states like Michigan, where I'm from, Ohio, where I'm not from, and Pennsylvania, also where I'm not from, where there were lots of factories. He told voters this was him fixing trade messes from the past and standing tough. But not everyone outside the US was on board. The European Union, for one, wasn't happy and said decisions like this could mess with global trade rules. Some countries started getting nervous that this might stir up more trade wars. Others have seen an opening and gotten busy making deals with China to fill the hole that America left in its heart. American companies pulled back, and the World Trade Organization has barely said a thing, knowing they'll have little or no impact, considering that it's a fight of the huge elephants, and elephants are scary, let me tell you. Over on Wall Street, traders definitely noticed. Stocks for companies that count on Chinese-made goods dropped faster than a breakdown at a Sleep Token concert once this all hit the news. People in farming started feeling the heat too. Last time there was a fight like this, China hit back by blocking stuff like soybeans, corn, and meat from the US. That's not easy to bounce back from. But Trump didn't flinch. He even hinted that more tariffs could be coming and said Chinese-owned apps might be next on the list. I'm predicting TikTok ban 2.0 in the upcoming future. A lot of analysts watching feel things are heating up again between the two countries and that it might not settle anytime soon. China didn't waste any time responding. Just days after Trump made his move, China fired back, and Boeing got it first. They stopped buying planes from them, which really hurts, since China's been one of Boeing's biggest customers for years. Do you think that they went after Boeing just to make a statement, or because they know it would cause the most pain? Boeing was already having a rough time even before this. They'd been dealing with production delays, safety issues, and losing ground to Airbus. Now, losing a big buyer like China, especially when nearly 1 out of 5 of their plane sales came from there in the past 10 years, was just another punch. And let's be real, this isn't just a random thought by China. It feels more like China picked its target on purpose, going for a big name that would get America's attention fast. So, why are the Chinese so focused on Boeing? Well, it's one of those companies that screams, "Made in America." But the thing is, it doesn't just sell to Americans here. It really counts on buyers from other countries, especially in Asia. Tesla and Apple can bounce back with local customers if something goes wrong overseas. Boeing, though? Not so much. Losing a big buyer like China messes things up in a way that's hard to fix fast. And with Chinese airlines growing like crazy, this is a real problem. Now, there's another angle to it politically. Boeing's headquarters is in Virginia, and it's got factories in places that matter during elections, like South Carolina and Washington State. So, when China messes with Boeing, it's not just about a revenge on the tariffs. It puts pressure on American politicians, especially the ones backing Trump's tough trade decisions. If jobs start disappearing in those states, you can bet the people in charge will start sweating. Then, Chinese Aviation Agency has started putting Boeing through all kinds of extra checks, more paperwork, more delays, all in the name of safety. Doesn't it also seem like they're also trying to help Airbus grab more deals? And Airbus didn't even wait around. They've swooped in and are making better offers, promising quicker deliveries, and are trying to make these Chinese airlines to sign on. The fallout was too fast. Boeing's stock has taken a dive and has dropped billions in just a few days. As soon as the news spread that some big Chinese airlines canceled their orders, investors got cold feet and dipped out of the wedding. And it wasn't just Boeing feeling it. American suppliers that make the parts started cutting back too. Some laid off workers, others lowering their expectations on what they're going to bring in this year. It has turned into a big trade war real quick, and a lot of investors are still trying to deal with it. Back in 2023, Biden's administration tried to talk things out with China about planes, tech stuff, and farming, but those deals wouldn't last long. Once Trump got back in, the talks just collapsed. Boeing ended up stuck in the middle of it all. China's busy working on its own jets like the Comac C919, and if they pull it off, Boeing's spot in that market could disappear for good. This whole thing shows that even the biggest American companies aren't safe. If China can turn its back on Boeing, it can do the same to others. This fight isn't just about numbers or trade charts anymore. It's jobs and companies getting hit. While Trump keeps raising taxes on Chinese goods, China is hitting back in ways that sting. So what happens next? Will China stop at just going after planes? Probably not. What if they hit tech companies too? This would definitely shake things up in a big way. One place they could hit hard is in production material used in things like phones, electronic cars, and even gear for the military. China basically runs that supply, and if they decide to hold back or cut us off, it could cause real trouble. If China answers by choking exports, US companies might struggle to build the production they need. That could send prices up and slow the economy down. Looks like China might also start messing with American drug and medical gear companies. Big ones like Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer have a solid business over there, and clients use their products all the time. But China could drag out the approval process, come up with new rules, or quietly give local companies an edge. None of it would break any trade laws, but it could still cause a lot of trouble. At the same time, China's busy pushing its own companies into other countries. Car makers like BYD, which get help from the government, are popping up in Europe, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. While the US tries to box them in, China's just making deals with other countries. Do you think China can actually turn this whole situation into an advantage for itself? Well, this could be a rise and fall story where the tariffs would rise and the economy would fall. Well, you know the saying. The higher the rise, the harder the fall.